my name's Sam French. You join me here at freedomalcohol.wordpress.com. Just wanted to post quickly this morning about triggers and your toolbox that you have in order to deal with them. The reason I want to do this is because I blogged last night about triggers, and I think that the post isn't necessarily 100% clear about what I mean by this. Once you have been free from alcohol for a long time, what you will find is that there are certain situations, behaviours, people, pressures, stresses, locations that make you think about wanting to have a drink. What these are often are things that you have previously associated with drinking. So for example, you might have drunk regularly on an evening, and your drinking might have started at 6:30 p.m. and as part of that, your routine and behaviour would be to go to the local pub at 6:30 to have 3 or 4 pints and to be with your friends, or so-called friends, to then finish up there and to go home and to then crack open a few more, or possibly have some wine when you get in, to reach for the fridge, and then possibly later on to have some dinner. You might cook your own dinner whilst you're having a drink, and then to eat your dinner and to go to bed. Now all of that sounds quite simple, but as part of that, you have actually developed a routine, and you've developed some key behavioural characteristics that might form part of your triggers. In this example, therefore, your trigger would be the time of day, the fact that you go to a specific pub, the fact that you talk to specific people or so-called friends, the fact that you go home at a particular time, and the next thing you do is cook, and whilst you cook, your behaviour is to have a drink, so you associate cooking with drinking. Indeed, before you even get to the pub, you might have had a bad day, and the result of that bad day is that you know what's going to make you feel happier is by having a drink, because you associate that stress with the drink. So all of these things are your triggers to have alcohol. They're part of your behaviour and what you do and why you drink. And what you'll find is, once you've been free from alcohol for a long period of time, these sometimes crop up again. And it's about being aware of these situations where you feel that you might have a drink. So for me, when I had my drink at the weekend on Saturday, there were a number of things going on. I was under pressure, I felt stressed, I felt frustrated, and what this automatically did is make me think back to previously when I was a drinker, to reach for a drink, and that's exactly what I did. So my triggers were exactly that, the pressure and the stress, and I'd had enough and I felt tired. That's another one that often comes up. When people are tired and down, they're often at their weakest, and they get triggered and they want alcohol. So I hope that kind of clears that up a bit more. You'll know what your triggers are. There can be many, many different things, but as I say, it's often down to a situation or a place that you associate with drink. It's often down to the point at which perhaps you're more tired and more exposed because you've had enough or you're frustrated. So there's lots of things that can trigger you wanting to have alcohol, and it's about becoming really aware of those. And now the toolbox which you create to deal with those can vary, and different things work for different people. But what I wrote down on my blog was the things that work for me. So what I do when I feel a trigger or a situation where I get that fleeting thought that comes up, oh, I do fancy a drink, there's a number of things which I've done in the past and will continue to do in the future. That is, one is cold baths. They can really bring you back down to earth and refocus you on the present, and make you aware that you're here and everything's okay and it will pass. So cold bath. Reading works for some people. A bit of meditation works for some people. There's lots of techniques, grounding techniques, which you can see online when people do things like tapping their head. Makes you look like, you might think you look like a bit of someone who isn't altogether with it, but they can work. So there's lots of techniques, and it's about building up these techniques and being able to use them and know when to use them, that will help you through these triggers. So again, I hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, obviously you can tweet at Freedom Alcohol, or get me at alcoholfreedom@gmail.com, and use them. It's different things for many people. I think what you'll find over time, and this has been my experience, is that the triggers that you experience as your behaviour changes will become less and less, and your feelings and thoughts for wanting alcohol, and that's all they are once you're free from alcohol after stopping drinking. They are behaviours and thoughts, they're nothing else. Your mind is an amazing thing, and it wires in behaviours, and that can last for a while. So, but hopefully over time they'll become less and less. So for me now, after the few months which I've been free from alcohol, the intense moments that I get where I feel like a drink, it's probably down to once a fortnight now, and I'm just very aware of that cropping up. So, and it has lessened over time. I'm just less fussed about it, and now I've built in more. Now I've changed my routines and my behaviours. They're far more part of what I do on a daily basis automatically. So be reassured that if you do something for a long enough period of time and you change your routines, so you don't go to the pub, you go to the gym instead, or you go for a walk, or you read a book, or you do some work on a project that is totally separate from alcohol as part of your day, that routine will start to become part of what you do, and you'll need to think of it less and less, and then you'll be less likely to have those triggers. So I hope that's helped. Again, if you've got any other